The Thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parx Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
Good morning and welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Danny Gibson along with the world's best co-host Dick Girardi, and we're here at beautiful Parx Racing, here to bring you the best in horse racing from around the country. On today's show, we have new track announcer Chris Griffin, our new Parx Racing announcer who started with us this week. We'll talk with him about his new gig as the voice of Parx Racing and how Philly's treating him. And 3-year-olds on the Kentucky Derby Trail take their last shot for points to get in the starting gate on the first Saturday of May. The Arkansas Derby ran at Oaklawn Park with big favorites Concert Tour and Caddo River facing off. And at Keeneland, the Grade 3 Stone Street Lexington has some new shooters coming in, and familiar face the Amazon Bezos and favorite Proxy. We'll see who secures their spot in the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May. Joining us now is very special guest, new track announcer Chris Griffin, our voice here at Parx Racing. Chris, welcome. How was your first week? How was your first week announcing here at Parx?
Wow, Danny, Dick, pleasure to be here. It's been great. Very welcoming. The fans have been great. Social media has been great, and the bettors have been great. And so it's been nice to make a lot of new friends, and I hope to make a lot more new friends like you two here sitting at this desk. And just looking forward to it. Call some great races accurately. You don't replace Keith Jones. You know what I mean? You don't replace a legend that's been here well over 30 years at Parx Racing. So you don't replace Keith Jones, but you try and emulate him, his professionalism, the way he went about things. And I'm excited for it. It's a great opportunity. I got the Parx mask, and we're rocking and rolling. So I'm looking forward to a great season, the rest of the season here in 2021.
You were definitely hired for how well-rounded you are. Not only are you a great race caller, you're good on social media, you're good with the public relations. There's no doubt that we know that you love this horse racing game. Just take us through that, a little bit of that. Where's that passion come from?
Yeah, so I think like anybody, my story starts. My dad used to take me to the track, and I'm a West Coast guy, so I grew up at Santa Anita and the Pomona and Fairplex. Some of my early memories as a kid, just picking colors and horses, and anytime I see that type of feeling, it reminds me of that. So I really appreciate when I can see that at the racetrack, and now that we do have fans starting to come back, you get to see that a lot more. But the journey for me has been real interesting, because I actually thought I was going to run restaurants for a long time when I was young. That was where I thought I was going to be. And I got out of that business. I started getting into drag racing a little bit. Then I got in with the Harlem Globetrotters, as many people know, and did that for 6 years and toured the world. And then I always loved horse racing, very passionate, loved watching it, always kept track of it. You would find the 1 or 2 guys that were in your age range at that time that really, really liked horse racing, and we'd just, cruise up to Hollywood Park on Friday nights and the whole deal. So really enjoyed the sport. And then Frank Miramati, who many people know, I got a chance to speak with him at Los Alamitos, actually, during the Los Alamitos Futurity. And we were in the booth, and I said, what does it take to do this? And he had seen me call a couple Globetrotter games and whatnot. Never heard me call a horse race. But we started a conversation. He said, man, I'll get you a job. He said, I don't need to get you just to call one race. He said, let's find you a job. And then the Humboldt County Fair called me, and they said, we've never heard you call a race. Larry Swartzlander said, never heard you call a race. Frank says you could do it. Let's give you a shot for 7 days. And I was shaking. I was nervous. I was thinking, okay, thoroughbreds and the backstretch, and they're going to go into the turn. And my first race was the 220-yard mule race during the fair circuit with a 1-9 shot on the rail that broke last, that I was prepared to call the winner the entire way. And so it was exciting. So the journey has been a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot of opportunities from some really great people and some really great tracks. And yeah, to be well-versed and to tap into social media, which can be positive and negative at times, and it's fair. Sometimes that criticism is absolutely fair. So look forward to communicating with the bettors and the fans and really bringing a great product that Parx Racing already has. And yeah, I'm probably long-winded like every other announcer, but happy to be here. Just really excited about the opportunity, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
What was it about Parx that made you want to come here when you talked to Rich and Joe Wilson?
Yeah, I think it was the region for me. I think it's the appeal for some really, really great quality racing. And for me, it was time to make a move. I really appreciated my time in Houston and in that region, and was proud of what we built there. But I know that the East Coast, this is a market that I wanted to be in. I wanted to be at Parks Racing because there's big races. There's just the feel of you're stepping up to a bigger moment for me. And so when I'm doing that, that's where I want to be career-wise. I think we always want to strive to reach the top of the game and reach the top level. And so that's why I'm here. I think that I have a lot to add to the program, and Rich Romano and Joe Wilson, they've been very gracious to me in welcoming me and talking about those new ideas and being open to it. And we're going to ease into it. We're going to start kind of slow, just let me get comfortable. But the things that you can do in an East Coast market from a media standpoint, the opportunities are endless for us to be able to do some television, to be able to do more of the social media, to really tap into the strong sports fan base here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and in this region, because I think that's the second question I get asked every time I'm walking around here and meeting new people. They're like, hey, it's great. Are you enjoying yourself? That's the first question. All right, who are you a fan of? Which sport do you enjoy? Who do you like watching? Yep. So I think that sports passion and that atmosphere is going to be great here, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. We certainly are excited to give you that Philly passion. We're going to get you acclimated with Wawa and best pizza and all the best things Philly has to offer. But thank you so much for joining us, and we just look forward to you being our voice and working with you every day.
It's great. Appreciate it, guys.
Let's get to our local race of the week, brought to you by the Chapman Auto Group. If their emblem's not on the back of your car or truck, well, you probably did pay too much. And a great local race we had Monday. It was our 8th race, an allowance optional claiming race going 1 mile. Horses running for a $41,000 purse. Also, some were in for the $35,000 claiming tag. We have a field of 6. Our post-time favorite is the number 1 Wentz at the short price of 3-2.
Yeah, Wentz used to be in the John Service barn. He also used to be the quarterback of the Eagles, but he's gone. The horse is now in with Jamie Ness, who is just the hottest guy on earth. And check out my story this week on Let'sGoRacingParks.com, where he won 10 races in a row here at Parks, which I think has to be a record.
Well, speaking of Let's Go Racing stories, you also wrote one on the number 5 zoner, Confessor Robert Corsini, who got in horse racing at the ripe old age of 80.
It's a crazy
something.
story. Yeah, we heard it over the summer. Scott Lake had him. He hadn't owned horses like for 50 years, and he decided to get back in it. Confessor was his first horse, and he won. And here he is up at Parks for Scott Lake.
5-2. Let's get to our local race of the week with Chris Griffin.
23-3, the opening quarter mile as they move up the backstretch here. It's Optic Way in front, is up by a full length. Tight spot still for Wentz, is going to need room at the rail as Confessor keeps that one hemmed in, is in the second position with less than a half mile to go. Super Dude starts to get closer with Informative. Not keeping up right now is Seek the Peak, who is about 10 off the lead. Optic Way into the far turn. It's Optic Way fully in command. Here comes Confessor with the move, is tracking right off of this pace setter, and here comes Confessor. Confessor ready to pounce to the outside of Optic Way. Tipping off the rail comes Wentz. Late run Super Dude, Informative. Too far back, Seek the Peak. They approach the quarter mile pole. Confessor is doing it nicely. It's Confessor who kicks for home. Quick look back there from Sanchez as Confessor is 2 lengths clear. Wentz is in pursuit, and here comes Wentz, who starts to pick up the stride with an 1/8 to go. Confessor and Wentz right to the outside. They're 1-2. Approaching the 16th pole. Here comes Wentz, and Wentz is going to power on by. Back to second, Confessor, Wentz, and Ruben Silvera. Give him another one.
Well, what a finish for Wentz, the number 1, just flying by Confessor. Confessor looked like he had the race won. Jockey Michael Sanchez said he had so much horse, and then Wentz and Ruben Silvera go flying by.
I thought Wentz had no shot, Danny. I'm in on the turn. The horse is up battling for the lead. They run by him, and he swings wide, and you're going, and you can hear Chris like, is this horse really coming again to win? And he did. Yeah, you can watch a lot of races. You won't see that very often. Confessor ran a winning race and got beat, and Wentz and Jamie Ness, another 3-bagger on Monday.
Game second for Confessor, who also got claimed, and also the number 3 got claimed. So great to see some of these nice horses. We'll see them in some new barns, but those connections have to be proud. They did well with them.
I'll say, yeah, Bob has to be very, I'm sure he was unhappy to lose his horse because this was his 1-horse stable, but That's the game, and he won a couple, gets claimed for 35, he claimed it for 20, way ahead of the game. But at this point, he's probably just thinking, I like this horse. But
Absolutely.
You know what? You could probably go over to Danny and maybe say, hey, Danny Velasquez claimed him. Go, hey, yo, Danny, what's it going to take to get him back in our
Yeah,
car?
we'll see Bob with another horse. We're going to head to our first break. When we come back, we're going to check out the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby $1 million purse. Don't go anywhere on Let's Go Racing.
Caddo River will set the pace in the Arkansas Derby.
If you want action and you want it now, you got to get the new Parks Racing mobile app. Wager and watch thoroughbred and harness racing from around the world. With the Parks Racing mobile app, it's easy to open and fund your account. Then place your wagers and cheer on your horse as they thunder down the stretch. With the Parks Racing mobile app, you'll easily make withdrawal requests, view the previous day's replays and results. Plus, open any new account now and you'll be automatically enrolled in the Parks Rewards program. The more you wager, the more you earn. Get the new Parks Racing mobile app and get in on the action.
New to Pennsylvania, Tappett's most precocious son in the Mid-Atlantic, Tight 10, a brilliant graded 2-year-old and a 3/4 brother to the red-hot sire Constitution. Twice graded placed at 2, Tight 10 won his debut for fun, sired by America's 7-time leading sire Tappet, whose other sons include leading stallions Constitution, Frosted, Tapiture, Tapizar, the sire of the great Monomoy girl. Tight 10 entered stud in 2021 at the introductory fee of $2,500 live full. Jump on the Tappet train by booking your best mares to Tight 10 today.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. We're going to head into some national coverage. We're going to start with the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. 3-year-olds running a 1.8 mile distance at a chance for the $1 million purse. Our favorite was Concert Tour. No shocker there. The number 5 horse at 1 to 5. Very short price.
Yeah, I thought 1 to 5 maybe was a bit much, Danny, but 3 for 3. Got loose in the lead last time in the Rebel to prep for this race. And it's Bob Baffert. Look, John Service and Smarty Jones made this race famous back in 2004 and really got it to the street. But Baffert is the guy who has just been dominating in this race for the last decade.
Have to talk about our second choice, number 2, Caddo River, Brad Cox. Hey, they made no qualms about their plans, that they were gunning for the lead, that this horse he needs to be on the lead, where Concert Tour maybe just wants the lead versus needs the lead. So should be an interesting race.
Yeah, last 2 times Caddo River got the lead. Danny wins by 9.5, wins by more than 10. Didn't get the lead in the Rebel. Let Concert Tour get it and just couldn't keep up and faded at the finish. So yeah, finished 5th. So yeah, they're just going to go and see what happens.
Interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. Here's the call, the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby.
Now Rosario is going to let Caddo River lead as he takes Concert Tour just back a neck behind. The other 4 are lined up. Superstock, Hosier, Get Her Number, who's bounced around a bit, and a 4 wide Last Samurai. So Caddo River will set the pace in the Arkansas Derby, and he is a 3/4 length leader over Concert Tour, who sits in second. Superstock, Hosier, and Last Samurai are next, and they're 2.5 from the front. And then 4 lengths back to Get Her Number as they head up the backstretch. Caddo River continues to lead with a menacing, undefeated shadow to the outside in Concert Tour. Caddo River to the 4.5, a half length in front of Concert Tour, who's just waiting for the go signal from Rosario. 2.5 lengths back. Hosier's between horses. Last Samurai's 3 deep. Superstock is at the rail. He's saved every inch of ground in 2.5 from the front. Get Her Number has trailed throughout. 3 furlongs from the money in the Arkansas Derby. Caddo River only leads by a head as Concert Tour turns up the pressure at the quarter pole. These 2 have sprinted 3.5 clear of Superstock. Get Her Number has moved from last to 4th and 4 from the lead. Top of the stretch, Concert Tour confronts Caddo River. Caddo River tough to get by. Concert Tour is now taking the lead and he's a 1.5 lengths in front, but Superstock is a fresh challenger in the center of the racetrack. And here comes Superstock outside of Concert Tour. Superstock over the lead. Concert Tour has been defeated. Superstock, Ricardo Santana win the Arkansas Derby.
While Superstock certainly shakes things up at 12 to 1, Ricardo Santana Jr. just with a beautiful sweeping finish for trainer Steve Asmussen. And what kind of makes this so special was the owners was a family, Irv Woosley and Keith Asmussen and his mom Marilyn Asmussen. And I don't know if a lot of people have seen the TVG interview, but his mom Marilyn, she could be a movie star. And boy, just the emotions.
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, look, Steve has won every big race there is, except the biggest race there is. He hasn't won the Derby yet. He's going to have the all-time record. But yeah, to go to the Derby with a horse that his family owns, his son actually rode this horse, so it's all family. And this horse is kind of fascinating because he came out of nowhere, super
really
stock. You look back, so who would have thought that the Street Sense was going to be one of the key races of the 3-year-old season from last year? So we'll see. But yeah, 12-1 winner. We'll go on to the Derby. I don't know what was up with Concert Tour. No excuse that I could come up with. And people are asking me, well, what about? I mean, maybe he makes the lead of the Derby. It's different. He didn't run that fast when he made the lead in the Rebel. He only got a 94. And here's the deal on Baffert. Danny, when his horses are going to win the Derby, they give you an A-plus effort in the race prior. This was not an A-plus effort. I hate to say I don't like Baffert, but I don't like this horse right now. Something's going to have to change a lot in the next couple of weeks.
I totally agree. We have sound. Let's get to winning trainer Steve Asmussen.
Just a truly blessed moment to have this sort of success, with the horse, as you mentioned, with the connections to my mom and dad, to be here, what the horse has already done for the family, and to win the Arkansas Derby on such a beautiful day. God is great.
Well, let's keep moving on. Let's take a look at Keeneland, the Grade 3 Lexington, the Stone Street Lexington, a mile and 16ths. 3-year-olds looking for points here, and favorite number 2, Swiftsure. Steve Asmussen again.
He's back. This horse has just sprinted a couple of times, so the question is, how far does this horse want to go? But boy, his 2 sprint races, Danny, were sensational, and against Irad Ortiz Jr.
Well, we got to talk about co-favorite, the number 7 Proxy. Godolphin has had a huge month in horse racing. We've talked about them. Michael Stidham sends out this horse, Johnny Velasquez.
Yeah, you look at this horse, and he's second in the Lecomte, second in the Risen Star, pretty solid 4th in Louisiana Derby. On paper, is clearly the most accomplished horse, but he hasn't accomplished a lot of winning this year. But he's been close. So this is the race, in or out. You got to run good here.
He's got to move forward. Johnny Velasquez talked about how green this horse was. Well, let's see what happens. Here's the call, the Grade 3 Keeneland Lexington Stakes.
Noble Reflection, the leader. Noble Reflection on top, 3/4 of a length. Swiftsure second by 3/4 of a length. Bezos third up on the far outside. Gap of 2. Starrin' in My Dreams. Midpoint of the backstretch is 4th. A break of 5. Hockey Dad, It's My House. King Fury to their inside. Proxy going to have to go to the center of the track and will likely be caught wide onto the far turn. Still running nearly 10 lengths off the lead. Unbridled Honor is at the back. 45.87 seconds. The time for that opening half mile. Noble Reflection, the leader, 3/4 of a length. Swiftsure takes aim again at the leader. Bezos has lost some ground. Starrin' in My Dreams moves up around the outside 3rd. King Fury moves by to the inside in 4th. They're at the quarter pole. Proxy wide around the turn is still 8 from the front. Top of the stretch, Noble Reflection with King Fury moving off the rail and Starrin' in My Dreams swinging up to the outside. Unbridled Honor goes to 4th, still 6 from the lead. King Fury goes to the front with Starrin' in My Dreams in 2nd. Unbridled Honor 3rd up on the outside. Final furlong of the Stone Street Lexington. King Fury against the rail, 3-length lead. Unbridled Honor 2nd, Starrin' in My Dreams 3rd. Proxy is 4th. King Fury, Brian Hernandez Jr. to win the Stone Street Lexington.
Well, our man Kenny McPeek is on the Kentucky Derby Trail. King Fury with a Fury finish, 18-1. Brian Hernandez Jr., I mean, taking the blinkers off sure worked, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, they got the speed duel up top, which I expected, but I thought it was going to set it up for Proxy. But here comes King Fury's first race of the year. And I mentioned the street sets. He won the street sets last year, and Super Stock was second. So that's the race that gave us both winners of the big stakes these days. And this is fascinating, Danny. This is a son of Curlin, and no better horse for Kenny to have than a son of Curlin. People with good memories will remember it was Kenny McPeek who purchased Curlin for $57,000 way back then. And of course, then the horse was eventually sold to Jess Jackson for like, I don't know, some ridiculous millions and millions of dollars. And we know he went on to be 2-time Horse of the Year. But I don't know if he's going to make the race or not, because right now he's not in on points.
He's right on the outside
so
with the 20.
He's hoping maybe if they want to go, whether maybe some horses can defect. Well, to be determined, but it's always great to see Kenny with a good horse.
Absolutely. Here's some more with winning trainer Kenny McPeek.
I think he's going to handle 1.25 miles without any trouble. Whether he gets in, it's out of our control. We'll see how he bounces out. Yeah, we think 1.25 miles would be great. We'll look at the opposition. The Preakness is even a great race too. It could be either or, but it'd definitely be one or the other.
We're going to head to our next break. When we come back, we're going to have our jockey and trainer of the week and our Turning for Home Spotlight of the Week. Don't go anywhere on Let's Go Racing.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided nearly 2,800 former racehorses with a safe retirement. The program was created through the foresight of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
We all love animals, and to give back to something that helps us so much, it's a great thing.
Responding to the need for a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retiring equine population at Parks Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
These horses can do anything from hunter jumpers to western to therapeutic riding.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at a year-round racetrack.
We want to make sure that our horses that have run so well for us over the years get the great opportunity to get a new vocation.
Out of everything that we've done in Pennsylvania for racing, I think that's the thing we can be most proud of.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please give us a call or contact us at turningforhome.org.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Our jockey and trainer of the week is brought to you by Turning for Home, our proud racehorse retirement program right here at the racetrack. And we have another great Turning for Home success story to bring you. We're going to spotlight Kateri Tekakwitha. She was a beautiful gray mare bred in New Jersey for beloved owner and breeder Eileen Munyak. She didn't have success in her shortly lived 3-race career with trainer Ramon Martin because she was plagued with allergies, which horses normally love certain things like corn, oats, and straw, but she certainly couldn't handle it. But she's sure a shining star now with Adopter Sierra. She lives in upstate New York, and she's, of course, on a special diet for her allergies. And this darling duo loves to jump, win blue ribbons, and just hang out with the girls. And we'd like to give a shout out to owner and breeder Eileen Munyak, who was just such an integral part in the success of Turning for Home's early rehabilitation efforts. She was on the forefront of getting our program going.
Very cool.
We'd like to give her recognition. And our jockey of the week is Michael Sanchez, who had another great week, but for a certain reason, he had a pickup mount for injured Sylvester Gonzalez on Wish You Warrior. He won the race, and he donated the earnings to that. So just great sportsmanship on him.
Yeah, Michael's one of the cool people at the racetrack, and that tells you who he is as a person. That's great.
Absolutely, looking out for his brother. And our trainer of the week, no, it's not Jamie Ness again. It's going to be Kate DeMasi, who's second to none. Kate had a great week. 7 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. So Kate's on a roll. Why don't we head into some race recap brought to you by the Pewter Stable. Check them out at pewterstable.com. A great partnership to become an owner today and get in this exciting horse racing industry. We're going to start at Oaklawn Park, the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap with the battle of Whitmore and CZ Rocket.
Yeah, it's a rematch, Danny, of the race from a couple of weeks ago, the Hot Springs, that CZ Rocket caught Whitmore right at the end. This time, Whitmore's going to split horses, similar to what he did in the Breeders' Cup Sprint when he won it. But here comes CZ Rocket on the far outside with these gigantic strides. It's going to win by 2. Whitmore's second, so a rivalry here. Whitmore won the big one. He won the Breeders' Cup Sprint, but what a claim for Peter Miller, right? Claimed for 40,000 April of 2020. The only race he lost was the Breeders' Cup when he finished second. The rest of them, it's all ones.
Such a fan of this city. He's, of course, wearing the Matacott Stable Silks this time. Gary Barber owns part of him, but wow, I mean, this horse. And Whitmore, you know, he got bumped a little bit, but they both kind of opened up at the same time.
And the combined ages of these two horses, 15. And Whitmore's 8 and CZ Rocket is 7.
Whitmore comes over with his own entourage. I love
Whitmore.
that.
Yeah,
He's
a fun
beloved,
horse.
so he still ran a game second.
Absolutely.
How about the Grade 3 Ben Ali at Keeneland Racecourse, a mile and an eighth? And anybody could have won this race, Turning for Home.
Yeah, and it's a sloppy track at Keeneland on Saturday, and this is not hard to figure out who's who here. Who's the gray horse? That would be Silver Dust coming from dead last to run by the field late for my man Brett Calhoun.
Who had a huge day.
He did indeed.
You know that old saying, I swear, bet a gray on a cloudy day.
Yeah.
It rings true. Silver Dust, he was all up in the bridle. He looked amazing. And I'm sure he was a little muddy, but I'm sure they didn't mind cleaning him off.
No.
Oaklawn with their continued great day. Brett Calhoun still with the Oaklawn Mile, going the 1 mile. Boy, his horse looked beautiful by my standards.
Yeah, by my standards, had obviously a great year last year. He couldn't deal with the very best, but other than that, he was solid all year long. And he's in against Rushy, who's been there the whole way. comes through on the rail with Rosario. And watch this finish, because it's at the 16th pole at Oaklawn. They have two different finish lines. Joel thinks the finish line is the finish line. He keeps riding after the finish line, but by my standards has already passed him at the real finish line to win by a nose under Gabriel Saez.
You kind of see Gabriel Saez tap Joel on the arm and let him know.
Like, yo, man, this race is over. He kept riding.
Joel got fined $200
he got fined $200
for that.
You know what? If you're gonna, I don't mind if you're riding too far. It's when you don't ride far enough that it's a problem.
Exactly. Don't short the betters. But I kind of became a fan of By My Standards. He was stabled 2 horses down from Vequist at the Breeders' Cup.
Very nice.
What a handsome horse.
No,
but,
I mean, look, he's only had a couple of bad races. Unfortunately, the 2 bad races happen to be in the Derby and the Breeders' Cup Classic. Other than that, he's never run a bad race in his life.
But Brett Calhoun with a huge day. It's time for some Ion Racing, and it's going to be the showdown of all showdowns. Oaklawn has the Grade 1 Apple Blossom with the 2 Beast champions, Monomoy Girl and Swiss Skydiver. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it. I'd like to see who else is in the race, which I haven't seen at this point. But look, Monomoy Girl beat Swiss Skydiver in the Distaff last year, but remember, Swiss Skydiver missed the break and had an issue. But Monomoy Girl has been beaten by 1 horse in her career. She finished in front of. It's unbelievable. But Kenny McPeak is saying he's bringing a beast in Swiss Skydiver. I would say this, he better, because Monomoy Girl is some horse. Can't wait to see it.
I think a Chestnut's going to win.
No, there you go. Yeah, that's
there we
not
go.
fair.
And Keeneland has the Grade 2 Elkhorn. Be sure to look out for our Bruce Casella, who'll be there in the crowds. Wave to him. And Santa Anita has the Grade 2 California Stakes. But a huge day of horse racing. I think we're going to head to another break. When we come back, news and notes. Don't go anywhere on Let's Go Racing.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable. New to Pennsylvania, Tappett's most precocious son in the Mid-Atlantic, Tight 10, a brilliant graded 2-year-old and a 3/4 brother to the red-hot sire Constitution. Twice graded placed at 2, Tight 10 won his debut for fun, sired by America's 7-time leading sire Tappet, whose other sons include leading stallions Constitution, Frosted, Tapiture, Tapizar, the sire of the great Monomoy Girl. Tight 10 entered stud in 2021 at the introductory fee of $2,500 live full. Jump on the Tappet train by booking your best mares to Tight 10 today.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Our news and notes is brought to you by our Granny Fund, helps with continuing education for our backstretch community. And you know, we're wrapping up our Kentucky Derby trail. The Kentucky Derby is going to be in a few weeks here.
2 weeks from today, Danny.
Jockeys are getting named. Mike Smith is named on Midnight Bourbon for Steve Asmussen. So it's interesting he got off Medina Spirit.
That is very interesting.
And Flavian Pratt's going to ride Hot Ride Charlie for trainer Doug O'Neill. And some other news, we know Wayburn's going to bypass the Kentucky Derby and head to the Belmont, which Jimmy Jerkins, we know he loves New York. So
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting call. 2 weeks from today, and look, Essential Quality is almost certainly going to be the favorite now, you would have to think. And he's the one horse in this race of the contenders that's a 2-way horse, doesn't need the lead, can run mid-pack. Reminds me a lot of Nyquist, undefeated 2-year-old champion, not dazzling, but just gives you that same effort race after race.
He just gives enough. It's going to be a very exciting Kentucky Derby. Well, that wraps up this week's show. Thanks for hanging with me and Dick. Come check me out. I'll be on the rail. We are racing here at Parks Racing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, post 12:55. We'll catch you next week. Thanks so much on Let's Go Racing.